coach Brian Hartline has been one of the hot commodities in the coaching ranks across college football for quite some time now, both from the standpoint of just recruiting out of his mind and then also developing those guys into NFL stars. And we just completed an NFL season in which Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave posted the best numbers of any wide receivers in their first year in the NFL this season. But Brian Hartline now has new responsibilities at Ohio State. So Ryan Day had told us that he was going to step to the side, and now he has gone ahead and done that.
Well, I'm still not entirely sure what the situation will be when you're referring to the play calling there. I think that's something that was not mentioned, and intentionally so, in the press release that came out announcing Brian Hartline's promotion to offensive coordinator. That, I think, is something that they are still working through at Ohio State. And I do believe that the report, I think it originated from Kirk Herbstreit, but it's come from other places as well, that Ryan Day, is considering or planning on giving up play calling duties or being less involved with that. He's still going to be very much a part of what they do offensively, obviously, but the promotion of Brian Hartline certainly indicates that the direction Ohio State would go is with Brian Hartline as the play caller. Brian Hartline has never called plays. This is his first time as being an offensive coordinator. I think some people were a little bit surprised in this move because you have Justin Fry on the staff, who was an offensive coordinator under Chip Kelly when he was out at UCLA before coming to Ohio State. And I think a lot of people assumed that would be the guy who steps in for Kevin Wilson in that role. But you have a hot commodity, as you mentioned, like Hartline, who has proven to be very good with these wide receivers. And neither you nor I are in the meeting rooms, but I imagine Ryan Day has good reason for believing, even if he doesn't hire, or even if he doesn't give Brian Hartline the full play calling role, that he trusts him because of what he's seen over the last several years to be able to run this offense similarly to what Kevin Wilson did. I think it's always going to be Ryan Day's offense, and that's how they're going to operate things. But Kevin Wilson obviously had a big part in it. So did Brian Hartline. So did Justin Fry. So did anyone who's ever been involved with it. So, look, I think the big news is that they've kept Brian Hartline in Columbus at Ohio State. He is certainly someone that other programs have been interested in. His recruiting, as you mentioned, has been off the charts. He has, we were talking before the show, Mark, he has the top 6 all time since they've been, doing player rankings. He's recruited the top 6 wide receivers to ever come to Ohio State, which is pretty impressive. And he's also shown he can develop guys. You look at a guy like Chris Olave, who, while he may have been a bit underranked because of missing a year of high school football, still was not the finished product that he was as a senior his freshman year. So Brian Hartline has shown he can kind of do the gambit with the wide receivers, and now he's going to have a chance to take that to the whole offense and see what he can do there. I think this could be really helpful for Ohio State when it comes to recruiting. He will still be very involved with wide receiver recruiting, but I think that role will expand out to other positions as well. And not that Ohio State is hurt for offensive talent, but I think you could argue maybe the offensive line recruiting hasn't been what they've needed it to be. Justin Fry is obviously just finishing his first year here, so he will certainly help that. But Brian Hartline can kind of get his hands in on everything on that side of the ball, and also show what he can do as the offensive coordinator and what very well could be a play calling role.